What up, bro?
What's up, C-Rose? How you doing, man?
I am doing great. I'm ready for some great baseball this weekend. We got some great matchups, big time storylines. Could get more history with Miguel Cabrera, as he will definitely hit number 500 against my Cleveland struggling team that gives up 17 runs and scores none in a game. But let's get past that. Should we talk about it right away? Why not?
Do it, man. I know you want to.
Okay. Well, I was kind of curious about you because, you didn't, I don't want to get this wrong, but you didn't love the movie Field of Dreams. I had a feeling that you were kind of anticipating what you'd see last night, but not like over the top excited. So did it exceed your expectations, what we saw?
Yes, 100% it exceeded my expectations. And, we criticize Major League Baseball a lot when, a lot of times they swing and miss on stuff like this. Last night, They did not. They did a really good job. Put aside the baseball because they have no control over the baseball. The baseball game was spectacular. Just the production value. We talked about that yesterday. I said they got to do this the right way, and they did. The shots were amazing. The camera angles they got were amazing. The player, what am I trying to say?
The introductions when they walked out of
the introduction was great, but just like the players wanted to be there, it seemed
totally.
like, and that helps a lot. I thought my favorite part of it all was, when they were showing the baseball field from way up and you had the pink sky behind, and there just wasn't like people. It was like a baseball game, a few people in the stands, like the cornfields all around, like the solidarity of it all it's really cool because that's not what you get typically when you show a sky cam at a Major League Baseball park. It's just people, and that's cool too. But this was, just a little bit different. They did a really good job.
So one of the many things that I love about this sport is that you talk about all the stadiums you've been to, right? As a baseball fan, how many families during a summer will say, hey, let's hit 3 or 4 ballparks we've never gone on. Let's go to a different part of the country we've never seen, and part of the trip will be baseball. Like, that is the allure, right? Like, I've checked off so many except 3 stadiums, I think, that are out there right now. I watched that, and I looked for every detail. I loved, even though I wanted to see the corn be in play, I loved the way the fence laid out against the corn.
Yeah, me too.
The see-through fence was awesome. The scoreboard, the human-operated scoreboard was sensational. I thought the White Sox uniforms played beautifully. Just the entire look of it, and you were dead on right. When they interviewed Garrett Cole, you could actually hear an excitement in his voice about being there, and almost like, holy shit, like, this is way better than any of us expected.
Yeah, I mean, it's like I think you mentioned yesterday, it's August. Like these games right now are getting monotonous for guys. So to break it up and be able to go out and do something like this, and the whole town is there and fired up, and they did a really good job. And then we could talk about the baseball game a little bit because that's what made the night, Chris. All the other stuff is icing on the cake. Like, that baseball game was something else.
Yeah, and so the finish, you had the Yankees down 7-4 against the guy who's been arguably the best closer in baseball the last 2 years. They end up putting a 4 spot on, 2-run shot by Judge, 2-run shot by Stanton. And then the bottom of the ninth, Tim Anderson, first pitch he sees, a 2-run shot to win it. How excited, how involved were you, I guess, compared to any other regular season game there in the ninth inning?
Well, we talk about it all the time. The White Sox are so good, and it looked like they were just going to go dominate the Yankees. They bring in that bullpen. Kopech had a really good ending there. Like, he's super fired up.
Right.
They have so many weapons. It's crazy. When you really think about how many guys they have back there that can help them and, like, shorten the game, it's almost not fair. So I thought that was going to be the case, and then, the Yankees did a great job, battled back. Judge is seeing the ball excellent right now. Stanton's kind of looks lost up there, but he gets a hold of one because he's so dang strong. The ball's kind of flying. So I was happy that it ended up being a game, and then TA comes up, and he has the perfect swing for Britton. Nobody else is going to do that off Zach Britton. It's so hard to elevate his fastball, and Anderson's one of the guys that can. So the White Sox, man, look out. They put everybody on notice, man, with what they're showing on that national game.
Yeah, I'd be curious to see. This had to be the highest rated regular season game we've seen in years, and I think it was great that Tim Anderson was the final piece of the puzzle here. In recent years, you've talked about the bat flips that may have bothered some people, and that's Keep being you, man,
Mm-hmm.
and keep doing that, because there are, when we've talked about this on the show, there are certain guys that live when that spotlight is on, and
Yep.
they elevate their game. And I really think he's one of those dudes. And the amazing stat I saw as you're sifting around, that is the White Sox 15th career walk-off homer against the Yankees. Did you see who hit the first?
Mm-mm.
Shoeless Joe.
Oh, baby. There we go.
Right. So, I mean, it just symmetry, all that sort of stuff. I thought it was a fantastic game. I thought the Yankees showed a tremendous amount of guts coming back against a really, really good closer. And by the way, I don't think Liam Hendricks will ever do a mid-game interview again.
That's pretty funny. Hey, how was Shoeless Joe in person? Was he as good as everyone says?
You're funny. I was waiting for that. You know, it's low-hanging fruit, so I kind of
It
expected you to
was
grab
so
it right off
easy.
the tree.
So easy.
I know it was. I know. You're going to get a few comments. People will love it in the chat. You know, that's right. Old Man Rose. It was cute. It was cute. I will say this, that Shoeless Joe, because the book isn't called Field of Dreams. It's called Shoeless Joe. And it was one of my favorites that I read. I did a sports literature class while at Miami University, and it was great. So that was, yeah, good book. Really good book. All right, you're flickering on me. Is your Wi-Fi okay? You still with me?
I feel great. I see it good, yeah.
Okay, good. Well, this is a good time to tell everybody that today's Instagram Live is presented to you by our friends over at Manscaped.com. Manscaped.com, use the code word ROSE, you get 20% off your order, plus free shipping. The big thing here is that we got the Lawnmower 4.0. It's waterproof, so if you like using that stuff in the shower, clean yourself up, that's fine. We're talking about 9,000 RPM motor-powered 360-degree rotary dual-blade system. That someone special is going to be like, oh, you really care about me because you took care of yourself. In addition to that, we got the Weird Whacker ear and nose hair trimmer. Really does a job on Rose over here, so it'll help you out as well. In addition to that, we got the Crop Preserver Ball Deodorant, the Crop Reviver Toner, plus 2 free gifts. The Performance Boxer Briefs, which Michelle loves, and the Shed Travel Bag. Go get it, manscaped.com, code word ROSE, 20% off your order, and free shipping. Act now, or when we're done with this Instagram Live. It's perfectly fine as well. All right, let's get to some other series. The Mets, they find themselves just a half game out behind the Phillies in the National League East. Braves are right on their tail as well. Now the Mets start a 13-game stretch against the Dodgers and Giants. Where will the Mets be at the end of this grueling 2-week stretch?
Oh, wow. Okay. Changed it up on me a little bit. Mets after this.
Wait a second. I sent you a text an hour ago that said I'm changing things up.
Yeah, I thought you said where they're going to be after this weekend. So I'm going to answer both because I want to give both predictions.
Okay, good.
The standings in the NL East right now, who is it? It's Phillies, Mets, Braves.
So they're all separated by just one game.
One game. I think at the end of this, we're going to have Braves, Phillies on top. Tied. I think the Phillies and the Mets are both going to lose 2 out of 3.
Okay.
I think Atlanta, playing Nationals, going to win 2 out of 3. So we're going to have 2 teams tied at the top, Mets behind them. But then after this stretch, I don't know, man. Like, got to give it to Polar Bear Pete. He told everyone to smile. They've won 3 in a row. He's kind of like been raking, like doing his dang thing. So shout out Pete. Like, we kind of laughed at you, but you're doing it. So, tip the cap. This is the make or break, 2 weeks for the Mets. It really is. Mm-hmm. So, I think they'll be happy with 500 ball. I think every single person in that clubhouse would sign up for 500 ball, even though they won't admit that. And I think that's what they have to do if they want to, continue to be in this race the way they are right now.
Yeah, so 7-6 or 6-7 is probably acceptable in these 13 games.
7-6, they would jump for joy right now.
Right.
Going to, those 2 trips going up against those 2 teams, absolutely.
Mm-hmm. I did see the rest of the way that the Phillies have the easiest schedule in baseball. I don't always buy into that because I just think baseball is such a weird sport. And, if you're playing teams that are struggling or just aren't nearly as good, particularly after the trade deadline, we've seen a lot of that recently. So I don't buy all that sort of stuff. But, man, sign up the Mets right now for 7-6. Because at 7-6, at worst, in my opinion, at worst, they would be probably 3 games back. And that's still very doable with 5 weeks to go. 100%. So, with all that being said, I am a little bit worried about their bullpen because it's been so good this year, but I think these guys are gassed. they have been asked to haul so many innings, particularly since DeGrom went down.
Yep.
And it's starting to show a little bit. If you see more of that, if you see more cracks there in the foundation, that's good. That could lead to a 4-9 trip, and that ain't any good.
That ain't good. And these teams aren't slowing. I mean, the Dodgers aren't. They're playing okay, but they're the
Right.
Dodgers. Giants haven't slowed down at all.
No, they are top notch, as we like to say. All right, Boston Red Sox, they just lost 2 of 3 at home against the Rays. They are sliding. They look behind them, and all of a sudden the Yankees and the Blue Jays are right on their hindquarters for that second wild card. But tomorrow, some good news. Chris Sale makes his 2021 debut. What are your expectations for him?
I think he's going to be great. I mean, he's one of those guys that you just don't see his arm angle very often. You don't see pitches come at you from that angle at all. So if he's sharp, has his velo, and can locate, he's just going to be Chris Sale. And that's going to be, exactly what Boston thought he would be, shot in the arm. He's the trade deadline pickup. He's our guy. They need him to be that guy. And I expect him, after I talked to Chris Herman, who was catching him in AAA.
Okay.
Said, great. He had great numbers during his rehab starts. So I expect him to go be Chris Sale, man. He's just different.
By the way, Sale is coming off the injured list against the perfect team. It's going to be the first time he pitches in a major league game in exactly 2 years and 1 day.
Damn.
He's facing the Baltimore Orioles. Lifetime 8-2, a sub-2.5 ERA, more than 13 Ks per 9. I get it. This Baltimore lineup is probably a lot better than the one that he has dominated in years past. But still, it's got to make you feel good. You see a certain uniform, you're like, oh, my God, I kicked the shit out of those guys, so why don't I continue it? He's not going to come out of the gate going 7 or 8 innings. We know that. If they get 5 out of him tomorrow, I think they'd be happy, right?
Yeah, I don't know what his pitch count is. I didn't see anything listed.
Right.
I could see him. I mean, he's built it back up. I could see him going 6.
Okay. I bet you 6, they would be thrilled with that.
Oh, my gosh, yeah. I think he would, too. But I'm excited to see how he looks.
I am, too. He's super fun to watch. At the beginning of his career, I always watched kind of like this because the way he threw the baseball and his build, I always said, God, when's that guy going to just break in 2? And it didn't happen for a long, long time. So I wish him well. He's a ton of fun to watch. All right, last one. Andrew Romine, the Cubs, had a chance to pitch to his brother behind the plate, Austin Romine. Now, they got blown out 17-4. It was a terrible few days for the Cubs, who also, DFA'd Jake Arrieta and all that stuff. But Romine to Romine, rank on a scale of 1 to 5 brotherly hearts. How sweet that was to watch.
It's pretty cool, man. I like the Romine bros. I know Andrew going way back to youth baseball.
Oh yeah,
So,
they grew up out here. Where'd they grow up out here?
I think they grew up in Orange County somewhere.
Got it.
But we used to play together, 12 years old, come up through the system. Andrew's a grinder, man, and he can pick it at shortstop. He's earned every single day in the big league, so I think this is kind of a cool thing. Cubs sell everyone off, bring him up, gets to throw to his brother. And you know what, Chris? He's the other position player I've homered off of.
Oh, my God. I was wondering if we were going to get that in. Boom! Yeah.
Love you, Andrew. I love you, baby.
What'd he throw you?
He actually threw me a heater at 90, dude.
Oh.
And then he came back with a curveball, and
Yeah.
down, Chris.
Okay.
But 5 hearts, 6 hearts, whatever the top is, because that's awesome, dude. I can't even imagine being able to do that.
Yeah. 5 hearts. 5 hearts for me all the way, especially on a day where baseball was already playing with my emotions because of the whole Field of Dreams thing. To see this happen and then to see him get the called strikeout on Bradley Jr. Sorry about JBJ. That was not a strike, but it was cool for the moment.
It was a strike, dude.
It was not a strike.
Oh, my God.
No, it was not a strike. It wasn't a strike. But whether it wasn't or it was, to see those two kind of walk off arm in arm, this hadn't happened where a brother pitched to a brother since 1962.
I was going to ask you. I knew you had it. Who is it?
Norm and Larry Sherry of the Dodgers. Pretty cool.
It's really awesome, dude. They'll have that forever.
Yeah. By the way, can you really name your kid Larry Sherry? I mean, there's a gazillion.
You can name your kid whatever you want, dude.
Yeah, but you wouldn't have named your son Boof Plouffe.
My
right?
last name's the worst. It's the worst.
It's not the worst. It's French. He's French.
You have a great one. No one can, screw your name up or make fun of your name.
I think Michelle married me for my last name.
I love Michelle.
Yeah, she's a good one. She's a good. By the way, everybody always thinks that Chris Rose is a made-up broadcasting name. It's not. I'll show you my birth certificate. It's legit.
Yeah, you're not that kind of guy.
No, I wouldn't make it up. A lot of people have. Got a lot of friends who have fake names. I think we're out on that stuff. You can be whoever you are, thank God, these days. All right, what do you have coming up on JOMBOY Media?
I'm headed right back out. We're doing the series recap Friday episode of Talking Baseball. Can't wait for that. I'm doing the NL recap, so I got a lot of games to talk about.
Yes, you do.
Then I think we're heading out of town for the weekend, man.
Anything fun?
Little getaway trip right before the kids start school. And I'm not high. Why does everyone always say I'm high?
It's just because you just look, I don't know.
Chris, what do you got coming out on JOMBOY?
Okay, so yesterday we dropped the Miggy Rowe Brock Holt episode. People seem to really like it. If you haven't had a chance to listen and or watch on our YouTube channel, give it a look. Holt gives us some great stuff, including an amazing painting by his 5-year-old son that he thinks he's going to sell for $5 million. It's the shit. That's all I can say. That painting is really awesome. And then in about an hour or so, I am going to interview Tyler Glasnow. He is speaking for the first time since his Tommy John surgery. We're going to catch up with him. We're going to ask him a lot of stuff about his future in Tampa, what eventually forced him to do this, because he thought he was coming back in late September. Why did things change? We got a lot of ground to cover. So that's all coming your way. Plus, I want to give a special shout out to the hat people that I'm wearing today. Look at this. The Florence Flamingos. They are a wood-back college team for the summer out of Florence, South Carolina. So I want to thank the team president, Cameron, for sending me all the gear.
Yeah.
This one is a trucker's hat. So Michelle loves trucker hats. So this is going right off of my head and into her wardrobe, because she was like, okay, that's the one I want. So we've got more information in our chat and where we list our things on the Florence Flamingos. Which
I love flamingos. Big flamingo guy. I'm a big pink guy. Good for you, man. He looks good on you.
Thank you. How long could you stand on one leg, do you think?
Quite some time.
Over a minute?
Yeah.
5?
Probably.
Without, totally losing your balance?
You can't stand on one leg, Chris?
Not for 5 minutes.
I'll give it a try today. I'll film it. We'll see.
Okay. What do you guys think? I'd love to hear what people think about that one. Okay. Cool. All right. Don't forget about manscaped.com, keyword Rose, 20% off your first order and free shipping as well.
Oh, bro, I could do this all day. I could do this all freaking day.
You might be standing on 2 legs right
I'm
now.
on one leg. Why would I lie to you? Now I'm getting squirrely.
See, you can't do it. You think you could do it.
I can, bro. I need to focus.
Yeah. Over under 3.5 minutes. I think that's a good Vegas line.
I can go over. I'm gonna film it.
Okay. I challenge you.
I gotta go. I love you guys.
Do the show on 1 foot next week. That's funny. All right, listen. Everybody have a wonderful, wonderful baseball weekend. We'll see you back here Monday morning, 11:30 Eastern, 8:30 a.m. Pacific for our Instagram Live. Tell the boys I say hi, Plouffe, and do the entire show standing on 1 foot.
Love you, C. Rose.
You too, bro. Bye.